Hello, ALS learners! I am FJ, your teacher demonstrator in today's episode. But before we begin with our lesson, please be reminded of the following. Make sure that you are seated comfortably during the whole session. Listen attentively and participate. There will be questions during the lesson, and your participation will be highly appreciated. So, are you ready? Then, let us begin. Our lesson today is reading comprehension strategies for expository text. At the end of this lesson, you are expected to identify and use the different reading comprehension strategies, specifically in reading expository text. Before we officially begin with our lesson, let's watch this video first.
Genesis 1, verse 1. In the beginning, in the beginning, yeah, in the
Listen properly.
in the beginning, yeah, in the beginning, in the beginning.
That's terrible! Just to make it clear, the video is a meme. It is for entertainment purposes only. So, on a serious note, although many of us certainly laughed watching how the speaker struggled reading his script, it must be understood that reading is a skill that must be taken seriously to avoid embarrassment. And truthfully speaking, so that you learners will succeed in all your endeavors. May it be in pursuing college, senior high school, or maybe in job hunting. Reading comprehension is the process by which we understand the text we read. It is the purpose of reading, why we teach it, and why we care about it. It is also the prerequisite for meaningful learning from text. According to Tierney in 1982, in order to read with comprehension, developing readers must be able to read with some proficiency and then receive explicit instruction in reading comprehension strategies. So, reading strategies is the broad term used to describe the planned and explicit actions that help readers translate print to meaning. Talking about reading comprehension strategies, we have predicting, questioning, we also have visualizing, story mapping, retelling, summarizing, making inference, using prior knowledge, identifying the main idea, knowledge of text types and structures, using graphic organizers, and many more. I know that some of these strategies are familiar and self-explanatory. We will only tackle those that are important in reading expository text. Your knowledge of text types and structures, which refers to the understanding of the different structures of the types of text, such as persuasive text, informative text, narrative text, and our focus for today's episode, expository text, is vital in order to become proficient in reading expository text. So what is expository text? Expository text exists to provide facts in a way that is educational and purposeful. The text is fact-based with the purpose of exposing the truth through a reliable source. True and deliberate expository text will focus on educating its reader. Other descriptors of exposition are clear, concise, and organized writing. Expository text gets to the point, quickly and efficiently. Examples are textbooks, news articles, instruction manuals, recipes, city or country guide, language books, and self-help books. Now that you are already knowledgeable about what is expository text, let's now tackle the strategies you can employ in reading expository text. The first strategy in reading expository texts is your knowledge on structures of the text. Expository text is typically structured with visual cues such as headings and subheadings that provide clear cues as to the structure of the information. The first sentence in a paragraph is also typically a topic sentence that clearly states what the paragraph is about. Expository text also often uses one of 5 common text structures as an organizing principle. These are 1. Cause and effect, 2. Descriptive, 3. Compare and contrast, 4. Problem and solution, and 5. Time order or sequential. Now let us discuss each one of the 5 common types of expository text. Cause and effect. It discusses problems or events and their results or consequences, such as an article describing the process and consequences of deforestation. Some keywords and phrases to notice when reading an expository text include as a result, accordingly, is caused by, leads to, and consequently. Another is descriptive or concept definition. This type of expository text involves the description and or categorization of something such as concept, like freedom and civil rights, a system such as the respiratory system, or an object such as an element or compound studied in a science class. Some key words and phrases to notice when reading an expository text include looks like, belongs to, above, behind, and appears to be. Another common text type of an expository text is compare and contrast. It discusses the ways in which concepts, ideas, events, or objects are alike and different. Some keywords and phrases to notice when reading an expository text include compared with, although, as well as, and different from. Problem and solution. It is a pattern of organization where information in a passage is expressed as a dilemma or concerning issue that is a problem and something that was, can be, or should be done to remedy this issue. This is the solution or attempted solution. Some keywords and phrases to notice include compared with, although, as well as, and different from. And finally is sequential. This could include the description of key events in chronological order as might be found in a history text, or it could involve a series of related steps in a process such as might be found in a recipe or instruction manual. Some keywords and phrases to notice when reading an expository text of this structure include first, next, after, initially, finally, then, meanwhile, and preceding. Another strategy in reading expository text is getting the main idea or summarization. A summary briefly captures the main idea of the text and the key details that support the main idea. Students or learners like you must understand the text in order to write a good summary that is more than a repetition of the text itself. So how to find the main idea? It is as simple as these 4 steps. Step 1. Identify the topic. That is, you have to read the passage through completely, then try to identify the topic. Step 2 is summarize the passage. That is, after reading the passage thoroughly, summarize it in your own words in one sentence. It's like retelling. Step 3, look at the first and last sentences of the passage. And finally, step 4, look for repetition of ideas. And finally, the third and the last reading comprehension strategy for expository text, and it is called using graphic organizer. Graphic organizers provide visual representations of the concepts in expository text. Representing ideas and relationships graphically can help students understand and remember them. Examples of these graphic organizers are the ones that you see on screen. The first graphic organizer is for description, and the second one is for problem solution. Additional graphic organizers are the ones that you see on screen for cause and effect and for compare and contrast. Anyway, you can always make your own graphic organizer as you wish. I believe everything is clear now. This time, we will be reading an example of expository text, and you have to use the strategies that you learned earlier to answer the knowledge check questions that will follow. Now let's read this. Recurring headaches can have disruptive effects in a person's life. Initially, in many cases, these headaches make a person nauseous to the point that he or she must go to bed. Furthermore, sleep is often interrupted because of the pain. This results in disrupted sleep. Disrupted sleep worsens the physical and emotional state of the sufferer. For those who try to maintain a normal lifestyle, drugs are often relied on to get through the day. Such drugs, of course, can lead to another negative effects. Drugs can inhibit productivity on a job, perhaps even causing regular absences. Not only is work affected, but the seemingly unpredictable occurrence of these headaches leads to disruption in family life. The ensuing interruption to a person's family life is enormous, canceling plans in the last minute and straining relationships with friends and family. Therefore, many of these people feel discouraged and even depressed due to the cycle of misery reoccurring headaches cause. Now, I need you to answer this question. What is the structure of expository text the passage is patterned from? A. Cause and effect. B. Descriptive. C. Compare and contrast. D. Problem and solution. Or E. Sequence. The correct answer is A. Cause and effect. What is the main idea of the passage? What is your answer? Recurring headaches can have disruptive effects in a person's life. You did great in answering the questions. You deserve a round of applause for that. So, that would be all for today's episode. Watch out for another learning episode of this ALS Bridging Camp tomorrow. Thank you so much for learning with me today. Once again, this is Teacher FJ. Keep learning.
In the beginning.